Bullying. What is bullying? Bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior among school-age children. Such behavior is often repeated or has the potential to be repeated. While that sounds pretty straightforward, bullying can take many different forms. There is verbal bullying, which can include name-calling, taunting, threatening to cause harm. There is social bully, which can include spreading rumors about someone, embarrassing someone in public. There is physical bullying, which can include, plus more, hitting/kicking/pinching, spitting, tripping/pushing, taking or breaking someone's things. Cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is bullying that takes place using electronic technology, like phones, computers, and tablets, social media sites. That means it can take the form of text messages, a chat, comments on Facebook or Twitter, or even blog posts. Helping kids stop bullying. Let children know that bullying is not okay and can bring serious consequences at home, school, and in the community if it continues. Here are 5 things you can teach your child as a teacher or parent. Different doesn't mean bad. If someone is different from you, it does not mean that you should ridicule or mock them for it. For example, your classmates can have different skin colors, hairstyles, a unique dressing sense, or a different dialect. But none of it means that they are lesser than you or a bad person. They are people just like you, and they deserve love and respect. No one deserves bullying. You can't decide who deserves to be bullied based on what they do or don't. It's all about treating everyone with basic respect. For example, if someone in your class is shy and stammers while speaking in class, it is not okay to laugh at them. Try to be kind and offer to be friends with them instead. Kindness is cool. Some people bully because they think it will make them cool, but that is the biggest lie. Bullying someone does not prove how strong or cool you are, it only makes others think you're bad and cruel. On the other hand, if you are kind, that is one of the most attractive traits a person can have. Bullying doesn't always happen between kids. Sometimes, even adults can bully children. It could be a mean teacher, parent, or any other adult in a child's life. So both children and adults should be taught about this possibility and prevent it. Take bullying seriously. Both the bully and bullied have complex mentalities, and it's important to understand both of them. Bullies are often from backgrounds with tough situations where they have been bullied themselves. On the other hand, the bullied kid begins to think that he deserves this treatment, and loses his self-esteem. Whichever kid you are dealing with, remember that bullying should not be condoned in any case. Make sure that the kids know that it won't be tolerated, make rules against it and stick to those rules.
Confidence. Confidence is having trust in your abilities, qualities, and judgment. It means accepting yourself and having a sense of control in your life. You know your strengths and weaknesses well and have a positive view of yourself. Other than that, confidence is also about staying realistic. You set realistic expectations and goals, work hard, and can handle criticism. When we go through life with confidence, we are on the path to success because self-confidence is a superpower. Once you start to believe in yourself, the magic starts happening. But the question is, how do you gain confidence? Well, here is how. I can be confident by 1. Being proud of myself. The first step to confidence is to acknowledge your accomplishments, whether they're big or small. Don't let yourself think that you're worthless. Eliminate these thoughts and try to see how far you have come. How many obstacles you've faced, and yet you are marching onward. So be proud of yourself and keep your chin up. 2. Taking time to relax. Pushing yourself too much is not a good move, so take time out for relaxing. It will help you unwind and de-stress, and doing this is very important for staying calm and confident. With a strained mind, people only make more mistakes and get frustrated. So, the solution is to relax from time to time. 3. Taking care of myself. To be confident, you have to take care of the most important thing, you. Because when you take care of yourself, you will be healthy, happy, and calm. All of this will help you stay on top of your things. You will do everything with a good and positive attitude if you're happy and healthy. And that is the key to confidence. 4. Trying things on your own. This is about challenging yourself instead of sitting back. You should always try new things on your own. It will give you a mark to reach. When you reach that mark or goal after hard work, you will automatically be proud and confident in yourself. 5. Staying positive. Fostering positive thoughts is crucial to having confidence. Never give in to negativity and other people's poor opinions of you. You should simply focus on yourself and your goals. As the famous Walt Whitman said, "Keep your face always towards the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you." 6. Trusting my judgment. Shaking away your self-doubt leads you to become more and more confident. Whenever you are making a decision, you should trust yourself with it. Instead of asking others to take important decisions for you, step up and take control of your life. Trust your instincts and learn from your experiences. Eventually, you will begin to have faith in your judgment. 7. Appreciating my talents. Everyone has something special within them, their talents, and so have you. So, acknowledge that you are talented and capable of achieving great things. Moreover, try to enhance your talents by working hard, because everybody knows practice makes a man perfect. 8. Getting to know myself. Confidence comes when you take the time to know and to understand yourself. When we make friends, we get to know them, their likings, dislikes, moods, attitudes, and thinking. In the same way, try to know yourself. Learn what you like doing, what kind of person you are, and what beliefs you have about important things in the world. When you understand those things, you become wiser and more certain about yourself. That is when you become confident anywhere and at any time. 9. Believing in myself. Sometimes we are in tough situations and it feels like we will surely fail. But that is when we need to have an unyielding faith in ourselves. Always be sure of yourself and your abilities. Tell yourself, "I can do this." This self-belief will ultimately lead you to confidence and success. All these things are different steps to gaining confidence. The moment you start working on them, you will feel yourself getting more confident by the minute. Accountability. Teach your child about accountability. Accountability is the measure of a leader's height. Jeffrey Benjamin. These words, however, do not only apply to leaders. In truth, any person is only as strong and responsible as the degree of accountability they possess. It means that accountability is a very important quality in a person. But first, what is accountability? Accountability is an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility for your actions. It means to account for what you do and don't do. For example, if you have made a mistake, you have to own up to it. Instead of placing blame on others, you should be honest and upfront. These are the qualities that help you develop a strong and trustworthy character. Let us know more about how to be accountable for your actions. For starters, always remember this: accountability breeds responsibility. Both of these attributes go hand in hand. You can only be a responsible person, citizen, and friend if you take accountability for your doings. Now, let us learn 3 basic things about accountability. Others' point of view. When you do something wrong, consciously or unconsciously, you are obviously only thinking from your point of view. You may think that what you did is acceptable or negligible, but here, you should take a minute and try to place yourself in the other person's shoes. Think about how they are affected by your actions. Think of how they're feeling. With these considerations, you will become a lot more understanding and responsible. You will think whether what you're doing is right or wrong. And if an apology is needed, you will do that as well, because your thoughts will be unbiased. That is the first step of accountability. Positive communication. Never shy away from communication. Express your feelings and express your thoughts. Likewise, listen to others as well. When everyone sits down and talks it out, you will feel more inclined to be honest. For example, if you have played a prank on your classmate, now he is crying and the teacher is asking who the culprit was. You will be afraid to own up to it, but you should go and speak to the teacher. Simply communicate your feelings and apologize. You should never be too ashamed to admit what you have done. Your teacher will always appreciate your honesty. No excuses. No blame games. Whenever you do something, good or bad, you are responsible for it. It is your action. Similarly, if someone else has done something, they are the ones responsible. So, the code is to never place that blame on someone who is completely innocent. Your action, your consequences. It is as simple as that. Along with this, there should be no excuses either. For example, if your friend has deliberately broken the mug on the teacher's desk as a joke, you should not side with him and make excuses when the teacher questions about it. Like, he didn't even know it was there, it just fell by mistake. Instead, help your friend be honest and take accountability. When you understand these 3 concepts and apply them to yourself, you will automatically master the quality of accountability. Don't give up. Keep trying. Have you ever been sad and disappointed over a bad experience? Yes, they are a part of life, disappointments and failures. There is no question about that. The real question is whether or not you are ready to try again. That is all that matters. Read on these 3 important tactics in order to continually advance and move forward. Don't be disheartened by a delay in results. Many times in life, it happens that what we have been working ambitiously for does not seem to bring any success. And it is too easy to be disappointed very quickly when there is no reward for all your hard work. But if you stop trying because you are not seeing good results immediately, then that means you have lost faith in your own hard work. And that is something no one should ever do. It is always too soon to quit. These words, spoken by an American minister, Normal Vincent Peale, convey the best of strategies for moving forward. Simply never quit. Make this your #1 rule. No quitting. Even when you have been working towards your goal for a long time and the improvements are very slight, never give up. You have to maintain your focus on the goal and keep working. For example, if you are learning to swim, it is very frightening at first, and you may think you can never get the hang of it. But keep trying, even in the face of slow developments, and you will soon find yourself to be a perfectly good swimmer. Always have a firm belief in yourself. The 26th President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt, once said this: "Believe you can, and you are halfway there." There is a magical form of strength in self-belief. You have to have an unwavering faith in yourself, in your abilities, and in your hard work. With this ferocity of determination and positivity, there is absolutely nothing you cannot do. Just remember, once you believe you can, you will. For example, if you have an ambition for soccer since you were a little baby, you love this sport and you want to be a great world-class athlete one day. And for sports, you have to work harder than ever. You have to practice, practice, and practice. Now, if you begin to lose faith in yourself and in all the work you have up until now, you will find it harder to maintain focus. You will begin to grow disappointed in every goal you miss on the field or in any other shortcoming. And that is not the way of successful people, is it? So, absolutely banish any chance of self-doubt. You have to trust your instincts, get your head and heart both in the game, and tread on with courage. Failures should never stop you. There is something tremendously inspirational once spoken by Elbert Hubbard. There is no failure except in no longer trying. So even when you think you have failed, don't just sit back and give up. Your goals cannot be reached by giving up so soon, can they? Let me explain. Suppose you have scored a C- in your math test even though you studied day and night for it. Say the problems were too difficult and you got nervous, and now you are in the lowest of spirits and you never want to even look at your textbook again. But when you think about it, this attitude will harm no one but you. Sure, it will make your teachers and parents concerned, but at the end, your grades will be affected. Ultimately, your dreams of becoming a successful person will be harder to accomplish. The point is, when you give up after a failure, you are doing a disservice to your own self. Instead, you have to try harder than ever. Ask for help from your loved ones in any difficulty and stand stronger than before. Trying again and again will lead you to success. Moreover, it will bring an excellence to your talents and abilities as well. Fairness. Teach your child how to be fair. Have you ever heard about Percy Jackson? Perhaps some of you have even read the brilliant mythological book series. Well, the author of these books, Rick Riordan, once said something about fairness that you will never forget. Fairness does not mean everyone gets the same. Fairness means everyone gets what they need. That means fairness is a very important quality that demands for you to be more thoughtful and understanding. Fairness is about being a better human being. But first, let us understand some more about what is meant by fairness. Fairness is being just and also trying to stop injustice done by someone else. Treating others without any bias. In other words, it means no favoritism. Being honest, truthful, and upfront. Not cheating to win or to get ahead of others. Being fair includes many things, but remember, the main point always remains the same. Whenever you are doing something, stop for a moment and ask yourself, is it fair what I am doing? Fair to my parents, my friends, and to all those around me? And in your heart, you will always know the answer. This little trick will help you take fair decisions and become a better person. In general, teaching kids to be fair is not as complicated as you anticipate. There is an inherent quality of justice and fairness within children. All you have to do is nicely appeal to that quality, and as a result, they will respond. For example, if a kid is being unfair and acting out over something, you don't have to shut him down with force. Simply talk to him about fairness, and he will understand very quickly because the concept of fairness is natural to them. You just have to reinforce it. Here are the things you need to learn to be a fair person. Treat everyone equally. That means you should respect everyone and care about their feelings. For example, if you are being nice to two people but being mean to the third one based on the clothes he is wearing, then you are being unfair. What you have to understand is that anyone's clothes, neighborhood, complexion, Race, nationality, and more should not be something you dislike them for. So you should treat all of them with love and respect. Don't make fun of someone only to amuse others. It is cruel and unfair. And if someone else does it, you should stop them. Think of how you would feel if someone made fun of you and others laughed. So, always care about others' feelings and be nice. Don't demand special treatment. Don't expect someone to give you more benefits while everyone else gets none. That would be very unfair, and it will make others think how much of a snob you are. For example, suppose you play football at your local playground with some friends. Now, if you want to be the goalie every time you all play, it would be unfair to others who also want to be the goalie. So, the best solution is to take turns. This way, everyone will get a chance to play how they want, and everyone will be happy. Don't play favorites. It is quite possible to be unjust and unfair when you only care about the things or people you like. Favoritism is a bad and evil thing. Here is an example. There are two people who rob a grocery store together. The police catch them and they go to court for their hearing. Now, the judge is the friend of one of the robbers. If the judge sends the other robber to jail and pardons the one who was his friend, would you say that that is fair? No, that is unacceptable. Both robbers should get the same sentence for the same crime. Isn't that so? Now you understand why favoritism is an evil thing. If you made a mistake, never blame it on someone else to avoid the consequences or punishment. Always be upfront and truthful about the actions you take. Mistakes happen, and that is okay, but blaming someone else is not. For example, if you accidentally tore an important document at your dad's desk, don't put the blame on your sibling. Simply tell your dad and apologize. It will take a lot of courage, but it is worth it. Always follow the rules. No matter where you are or what you're doing, playing by the rules is an important part of fairness. If you trick someone or cheat to win, you may get the title of the winner, but you will know you cheated. And that would make you a loser, no? So do your things with honesty and sincerity. Instead of dismissing the rules and cheating, you should win by working hard. Try to bring fairness into society. Help those who can't help themselves. If you have something you don't need, give it to the ones who do. For example, you can give away your unused clothes and books and other things to charity. The thing is, you should be aware of what is happening around you, and you should work to make it better. A fair society represents its good inhabitants. Friendship. to be understanding of their problems or worries. For example, if your friend had a bad day, you should sit with them and try to make them feel better. It will let them know that you care about them. Be fair. There are no superiors in friendship. Everyone is equal. So when there is something good going on, always let them take their turn. For example, if you are playing a video game, you should make sure that all of your friends get a turn instead of somebody being left out. Sharing is caring. Sharing is the best way to be good at friendship. Sharing includes many kinds of things, such as snacks, candy, games, books, etc. If you are eating something, share some of it with your friend. Similarly, if your friend is out of pencils in class, let them borrow one of yours. Be cooperative. This is a very important thing about friendship. If you and your friends are doing something together, you should learn to cooperate. Instead of making a fuss and trying to do things just the way you like, consult your friends. Then do it according to what everyone has agreed to. For example, if you're saying you want to play hide and seek, but everyone else wants to play snakes and ladders, you should not be angry. Rather, you should take part. You will realize you are enjoying this too. Respect their personal space. There is one thing you should understand. Your friends don't always have to be with you. Your friends can have other interests and other friends as well. So you should not be angry if they want to spend time doing something else. For example, if your friend says that he wants to play with his cars, you should give him his space. Later, you guys can play together. Generosity. Teach your child how to be generous. That's what I consider true generosity. You give your all, and yet you always feel as if it costs you nothing. These inspiring words were said by Simone de Beauvoir, a world-famous French writer, philosopher, and intellectual. She has defined the quality of being generous in these simple yet effective words. According to that, generosity is being kind and compassionate to others and helping them as much as you can. Now, the interesting thing is, generosity is not only about helping someone with money or things. It includes many, many things. Consider this. If you encourage someone who is going through a bad time, even that little gesture is also generosity. If you pay attention to someone's needs when they're too shy to ask, that is generosity. If you share your lunch with your friends, that is another act of generosity. Similarly, if you compliment someone from the goodness of your heart, yes, that too is a generous act. So you get the idea. Generosity can be everything and anything that brings kindness, compassion, love, and positivity into the world. Let us understand another little thing about generosity now, and it is a very important thing. Being generous means that you are doing it for the sake of goodness, not to show off. If a generous act is done to get praise from others, then that generosity is not authentic or meaningful. So, always make sure that your generosity is not tainted by ulterior motives. Always try to have a pure and selfless heart. This is what makes you truly generous. Every act matters. First thing you should learn is that even if you cannot help as much as you want, you can still do your part. You see, the world is huge, and there are billions of people. And one person cannot help everyone out of their problems. But this is no reason to sit back and say, my actions do not make any difference. Always remember this. Every little act of generosity and kindness is worth it. You are making a difference bigger than you can imagine, even if you help just one person at a time. Listen to what Mother Teresa has to say about this. If you can't feed 100 people, then just feed one. So shrug aside the negative thoughts and go bring goodness into the world in any way you can, big or small. Sharing is caring. We have all heard this countless times, but now it's time to apply it. We think that when we give away our things to others, we will have lesser. But the goodness of sharing does not come from the things you own, but from the inner abundance of your heart. Even if you only have one sandwich, you will find a new kind of joy sharing it with a friend or a needy person. Another way of sharing is this. If you are good at math where your friend is struggling, you can teach him. This is sharing your knowledge, talents, and time. And it is equally as important as any other generous act. Baron Sachs of the United Kingdom said, "Happiness is not made by what we own, it is what we share." Compliments are free tokens of happiness. When you compliment someone on their work, looks, or achievements, you always see a beautiful, wide smile on their faces. You know, we never know when someone needs encouragement, so it is always nice to make people feel nicer about themselves. It is the purest form of generosity, and it costs absolutely nothing. For example, you can tell your shy classmate that they did an amazing job with their class presentation. Compliment your mom on the new dress she bought. Motivate your friend before their football game. So, in conclusion, you can be generous, helpful, and compassionate in any way that you can. It'll make the world a better place. How can I discipline my child? When your child doesn't listen to you, even after you have told them to do something a dozen times, what do? You've tried the nice way, and you've tried the harsh way. Nothing seems to be working. Your child is still being difficult and defiant. For every parent out there, this problem is as frustrating as it gets. Many parents resort to spanking, as it seems like the most effective solution to change their kids' behavior quickly. But in truth, it does more harm than good. It does not teach or motivate your child to behave well. Raising a child with good manners can be tricky at some points, and it can often seem like your child is beyond your control. But with the right parenting techniques, you can do a great job at it. But first of all, don't view discipline as a punishment. Discipline may sometimes feel like you are punishing your kids. That's not true. Discipline is positive engagement with your kids to help build good manners and moral character. It teaches them right from wrong in a constructive way. And these basics are what they need to be good members of society. Here are some pointers on how to discipline your child. Number 1. Introduce time out. A timeout is for when your kid breaks a specific rule or lashes out irrationally. Introduce this by telling them that they will get a timeout if they do or don't do something specific. If they continue with their behavior, tell them they are on a timeout. A timeout means that you remove your kid from a certain situation, remind them what they did wrong, and tell them not to come back until they are ready and in control of themselves. When you do this, try to show as little emotion as possible. This strategy helps children learn and practice self-management skills, and it works for older children and teens too. Number 2. Know when to ignore. Sometimes kids are just trying to seek your attention by acting out. They whine or shout, do the things they're not supposed to do. Now your job is to know when to respond and when to ignore. If you sense that your kid's behavior is only attention-seeking, simply ignore them. Of course, you should not ignore when they do something dangerous or inappropriate. Only look past it if their behavior is mild. When your child behaves on his own and asks something, then you can return your attention to him. This way, he will learn that good behavior is what gets him what he needs. Number 3. Reward good behavior and punish bad ones. There is no better motivator than a reward. It is all about linking actions to consequences. When your child does something good, follows the rules, or behaves gently, praise and reward them. The reward can be anything positive and healthy. Now, let's talk about bad behavior. When we say punish, it does not include spanking. Instead, teach them what logical consequences there will be for their unacceptable actions. For example, if they are refusing to pick up their toys, don't let them play with them for the rest of the day. With such direct and logical consequences, your child will learn to behave and act accordingly. Number 4. Communicate with them. Parenting is not just rewarding and punishing. It is more than that. Your love and attention inspire your child to behave nicely, and for that, a very important factor is clear communication. Frankly, tell them about the rules and answer their curious questions, instead of punishing them without a warning. This helps build their trust and develops a good parent-child relationship. Number 5. Redirect bad behavior. Sometimes kids act out because they are bored and have nothing to do. Don't aggravate them further by taking away things they like or by punishing them. Instead, find something productive and interesting for them to invest their energy into. With these basics in mind, you can discipline your child in constructive ways. Rather than pushing your child away by yelling at them, you can adopt gentler methods, which are always more effective.
How to help a child with dyspraxia disorder. What is dyspraxia? Dyspraxia is a neurological disorder that impacts an individual's ability to plan and process motor tasks. A person with dyspraxia faces problems with movement, coordination, judgment, processing, memory, and some other cognitive skills. Dyspraxia also affects the body's immune and nervous systems. Although dyspraxia does not generally affect a person's intelligence, it can cause learning problems in children. Keeping an eye out for symptoms of dyspraxia is important because sometimes people mistake it for laziness or disruptive behavior. So here are a few examples of how dyspraxia in kids might look like: problems tying shoelaces, doing up buttons and zips, using cutlery, getting dressed, etc. Problems carrying out playground movements, such as jumping, catching a ball, kicking a ball, hopping, and skipping. Problems with learning activities such as coloring, drawing, playing jigsaw games, handwriting, etc. Difficulties with concentration. Other than these, a child with dyspraxia may be clumsy, often fidgets, and finds it hard to process things. Now let's learn about ways to help these children. Both parents and teachers can contribute to help and support kids with dyspraxia. How teachers can help. Teaching a child with dyspraxia can be a frustrating experience because it's hard to judge the symptoms apart from normal behavior. But with continued effort and deeper understanding, you can make a great difference. Children with dyspraxia are perfectly capable of keeping up with their peers in academics, however, they may just need some extra attention and support from time to time. Because dyspraxia impacts writing, reading, and spelling abilities, you have to offer these kids a little more time to process new tasks. Next, you can try to go through the material by having them learn on a step-by-step basis and grade them at each step. This method has been known to be successful with kids with dyspraxia. Being sensitive and aware of dyspraxia leads you to be less critical in the classroom over classic dyspraxic behavior. By doing this, you will help them with their self-esteem, which would otherwise get shattered if the teacher reprimands them over things they can't control. Lastly, provide plenty of feedback and praise when deserved to keep motivation high. How parents can help. Make things easier whenever you can, wherever you can. For example, elasticated shoes, trousers, easier fastenings on clothes, etc. Encourage participation and involvement in everyday activities. For example, have them help you with household chores such as folding clothes, mopping the floor, cooking, etc. Allow your child the freedom of picking activities that they particularly enjoy or wish to try. Celebrate small successes and praise your child for their hard work and effort. Have your child practice meaningful exercises with productive tasks such as crafting a birthday card rather than meaningless movement exercises. In the end, remember that children with dyspraxia can live a happy and fulfilling life so long as they receive appropriate support. How to help a child with dyspraxia disorder. What is dyspraxia? Dyspraxia is a neurological disorder that impacts an individual's ability to plan and process motor tasks. A person with dyspraxia faces problems with movement, coordination, judgment, processing, memory, and some other cognitive skills. Dyspraxia also affects the body's immune and nervous systems. Although dyspraxia does not generally affect a person's intelligence, it can cause learning problems in children. Keeping an eye out for symptoms of dyspraxia is important because sometimes people mistake it for laziness or disruptive behavior. So here are a few examples of how dyspraxia in kids might look like: problems tying shoelaces, doing up buttons and zips, using cutlery, getting dressed, etc. Problems carrying out playground movements, such as jumping, catching a ball, kicking a ball, hopping, and skipping. Problems with learning activities such as coloring, drawing, playing jigsaw games, handwriting, etc. Difficulties with concentration. Other than these, a child with dyspraxia may be clumsy, often fidgets, and finds it hard to process things. Now let's learn about ways to help these children. Both parents and teachers can contribute to help and support kids with dyspraxia. How teachers can help. Teaching a child with dyspraxia can be a frustrating experience because it's hard to judge the symptoms apart from normal behavior. But with continued effort and deeper understanding, you can make a great difference. Children with dyspraxia are perfectly capable of keeping up with their peers in academics, however, they may just need some extra attention and support from time to time. Because dyspraxia impacts writing, reading, and spelling abilities, you have to offer these kids a little more time to process new tasks. Next, you can try to go through the material by having them learn on a step-by-step basis and grade them at each step. This method has been known to be successful with kids with dyspraxia. Being sensitive and aware of dyspraxia leads you to be less critical in the classroom over classic dyspraxic behavior. By doing this, you will help them with their self-esteem, which would otherwise get shattered if the teacher reprimands them over things they can't control.
How to help and teach an autistic child. Teaching young students with autism communication skills and learning strategies is vital to their growth. With proper help and guidance in the early stages, we can help them reach their academic potential later on. For starters, it is important to learn about autism spectrum disorder and how it affects a person. The more you know, the better you'll be able to prepare these students for lifelong success. Autism, or autism spectrum disorder, ASD, refers to a broad range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech, and nonverbal communication. People with ASD often have problems with social, emotional, and communication skills. They might repeat certain behaviors and might not want change in their daily activities. Many people with ASD also have different ways of learning, paying attention, or reacting to certain things. With the ever-growing population of children with autism, both teachers and parents need to be well-versed in their needs. Here are some tips to help children with autism feel welcome and thrive in your class. With these tips, you can help to keep students with autism engaged and ready to learn. Maintain a calm and stress-free environment. A normal environment might have some factors that negatively impact children with autism. For example, loud background music makes it difficult for the autistic child to concentrate. These children also react to any negative emotions as it decreases their focus. For example, if you're feeling angry, take a minute to leave the class and calm yourself down. Thirdly, speak in a low and clear voice to the class. Loud voices make them agitated and confused. Use a lot of visuals. Many people with autism are visual thinkers. Visuals are an important aspect of teaching children with autism. Line drawings, photographs, if-then cards, and stickers are great choices for everyday class activities. Also, you can create picture schedules for them as a child with autism finds these instructions easier to absorb. Use direct language. Children with ASD often need direct, clear instructions because they may not understand abstract concepts or figurative language. They also take most things literally if not explained otherwise. Therefore, it is best to be as direct as you can. Also, note that nonverbal cues, such as facial expressions and gestures, might not make sense to children with autism. Avoid sensory overload. Compared to other students, many unexpected things can be distracting to students with autism. So, as a teacher, you have to be aware of their sensory issues. For example, fluorescent lights, smells, and noises can irritate children with ASD. To overcome this issue, you can create a more relaxing atmosphere with lesser distractions. Also, try to keep the classroom walls free of distracting posters. Teach social skills. Children with autism are not always aware of what is the socially appropriate behavior, as no one explicitly teaches it. Other students just pick it up along the way. However, with these children, the best way is to model appropriate social skills and discuss with them how our behavior can make others feel. Be patient. When you give them certain instructions or simply speak to them, give them extra time to absorb what you've said. Patience is vital when you're teaching autistic children. If you push them to hurry up and do what they're told, they'll only feel more stuck and confused. In the end, it goes without saying, treat children with autism as individuals, give them respect, celebrate their success, and try to help them overcome everyday issues they're facing. How to help and teach kids with ADHD. All kids struggle at times to pay attention, listen, and follow directions. It's hard for them to sit still or wait for their turn. But for kids with ADHD, the struggles are harder and happen more often. What is ADHD? ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. It is a medical condition. A person with ADHD has differences in brain development and brain activity. It leads to inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. Kids with ADHD can suffer from either 2 or all 3 of these categories, and the symptoms affect them at school, at home, and in friendships. However, there are ways to help these kids and reduce their struggles, especially with learning and other academic activities. Remember, both parents and teachers can contribute to this. Take a look. Number 1. Be aware of the child's skill level. Students with ADHD try to avoid classwork that is too difficult or too lengthy. Number 2. Test them in what they do best. You can arrange the test for the student with ADHD according to their strengths, such as oral responses, fill in the blanks, or whatever is best for them. Number 3. Provide visual clues. It is easy for students with ADHD to work with visual reminders and examples. For this purpose, you can use brightly colored posters around the room and explain concepts with pictures and graphs. Number 4. Explain instructions orally. If you give written instructions on the board or a paper, explain them in simple and concise words. Number 5. Offer choices. Kids with ADHD typically respond better to having a choice in classroom activities. They become more interested in their work. They listen more readily and act less negatively. For instance, you can give them a choice between solving multiple choice questions or taking an oral exam. Number 6. Encourage hands-on learning. Kids with ADHD learn better with first-hand experiences. You can have students write and act out a play, design a 3D diagram, create a model for science class, and more. Number 7. Cut down distractions. In a classroom, you should seat the students with ADHD in an appropriate place with minimum distractions, typically away from the window or the door. Number 8. Deal with disruptive behavior calmly. Kids with ADHD can be hyperactive and prone to disruptive behavior. To deal with this, you can come up with a system that works best for each kid. But no matter what, you should avoid punishing them in front of the class. You can discuss the student's behavior in private afterward. Number 9. Establish rules and routines. It is best to state the rules clearly when you have students with ADHD in your classroom. Try to encourage positive behavior by telling them what to do instead of telling them what not to do. Moreover, establish a class routine and make sure it is available to the students with ADHD. Number 10. Organize to-do lists. It helps students with ADHD to follow instructions for homework more easily. With these teaching techniques, students with ADHD can overcome their struggles. They can also have better opportunities for learning and other problem-solving skills, which can help them succeed in life. How to help and teach kids with dyslexia. Many believe that dyslexia is a hindrance to success, something that stops a person from living a healthy and normal life. In truth, dyslexia is just a set of differences in how a person comprehends words. What is dyslexia? Dyslexia is a learning disorder that affects your ability to read, spell, write, and speak. Kids who have it are often smart and hardworking, but they have trouble connecting the letters they see to the sounds those letters make. Of course, it can be a challenge for kids, their parents, and teachers, but with proper help and guidance, kids can learn to tackle these problems and have a fulfilling life. This is what CEO Richard Branson has to say about it. Quote, "If anyone ever puts you down for having dyslexia, don't believe them. Being dyslexic can actually be a big advantage, and it has certainly helped me." Both teachers and parents can contribute to help kids with dyslexia overcome their difficulties. Here are some steps you can do to help them learn better. Number 1. Praise, not criticism. Kids with dyslexia can often get very sensitive, and it's our job to boost their self-confidence rather than bring it down. Because if they continually feel criticized, they will never be able to overcome their difficulties. Commonly, kids with dyslexia come to think that they are failures because other kids get ahead of them in most things. They also start to believe they aren't capable of learning. This is where we have to help them and teach them that they are smart and capable. To re-establish their self-confidence, try to give them more opportunities to succeed and make them see that they can achieve good things. Also, praise them for these small achievements. Number 2. Don't punish forgetfulness. It's easy for them to forget or jumble things up in their heads. If you punish them for something they can't control, it will hurt their self-image. Instead, use positive strategies that are easy for them to follow. Number 3. Don't call them lazy. Kids with dyslexia have to try harder than other kids to get to the same level or close. It is our job to understand and appreciate their struggle. When they lose concentration while studying, calling them lazy will not help. So, try to tailor their study schemes to their abilities. For example, provide 2 to 3 breaks in one session. Number 4. Make do with less written work. People with dyslexia are often bright mentally, verbally and artistically, but they struggle with writing. So, help them study with more different material that increases their understanding. Number 5. Don't ask them to read aloud. Kids with dyslexia can become extremely shy and anxious when they have to read out loud. It's possible that they will misread or skip words, which will make them embarrassed. You should eliminate these chances of embarrassment as much as you can. Number 6. Be clear and direct with homework instructions. For this, you can prepare a separate note where you list all the things they are supposed to do. It will make it easier for them to understand and follow. Number 7. Provide easy-to-manage study material. As we know that writing down things is a difficult job for them, so don't make them copy study material from the board. If there is another way, try to implement it. For example, you can get the material printed, highlight important things, give details in the margins, and more. Number 8. Accept oral answers. When you provide them with the opportunity to answer orally, they will express their thoughts with more ease and clarity. To sum it up, all you have to do is figure out the thing your kid is facing particular difficulties with and try to make it easier for them. With these measures, you can build a good learning environment for them in which they feel happy and confident. How to help your child deal with stress and anxiety. To grown-ups, childhood sometimes seems like a place where everything is good and right, but the reality is that even children face worries, fears, and stresses. Stress can come from outside, such as family, friends, and school. It can also come from within. Just like adults, children can often expect too much of themselves and then feel stressed when they feel that they have failed. When children are chronically anxious, even the most well-meaning parents can fall into a negative cycle and do things that actually exacerbate their child's anxiety. Usually, it happens when parents try to figure out the things that bother their child and then try to shelter them from those things altogether. As parents of a child dealing with anxiety and stress, remember that trying to completely eliminate anxiety is not the way to go. The positive method is to help your child manage it. Here are some important things you can do to help. Number 1. Encourage your child to face his or her fears, not run away from them. When we are afraid of situations, we avoid them. However, avoidance of something that makes you anxious will continue to make you anxious indefinitely. Instead, if you teach them to go through that thing and face it, they will learn that the anxiety reduces naturally on its own over time. Number 2. Show constant support and love. Listen to your child's concerns with complete attention and take them seriously, but also don't empower their feelings of fear and anxiety. Encourage your child to try to solve his or her own problems, if appropriate, but offer to help and be available to your child throughout so they feel confident. Also, don't underestimate the effects of physical affection. Give them hugs, kisses, and hold their hands when they feel afraid. Number 3. Encourage rational thinking. Help your child sort out between reality and their own misconceptions. For example, many children feel like they are the reason behind their parents' divorce. In the same way, they can often feel like there is something wrong with them, that something good they expected didn't happen to them. So, when you find your child engaging in such a thought process, it's your job to help them reconstruct it rationally. Talk to them about life in a positive way. Tell them they are not to blame for things beyond their control. Number 4. Teach them ways to get the stress out. Children feel better when they have opportunities to take out their stress. It will also make them feel like they can keep a leash on their negative thoughts. Each person has different things that help them calm down, so you have to help your child find the ones that work for them. Regular exercise is one of the best ways to manage stress. For this, children can join sports and other physical activities of their liking. Some children like to write or draw. It gives them an outlet for their feelings. You can also encourage your child to be expressive with their feelings. This is cathartic on its own. Besides that, help your child find other ways to relax, such as breathing exercises, muscle relaxation exercises, massage, aromatherapy, meditation, praying, or yoga. Number 5. Express positive but realistic expectations. Don't promise a child that nothing bad can happen to them, that he won't fail a test, that he'll never fall during a sport, or that there won't be mean children in his life. Instead, set realistic expectations and express confidence that he can do it, that he will manage to do his best. With time, you can help your child manage their anxiety in a healthy way. Instead of making them feel like they're sick, you can tell them that it's okay to be scared and anxious, and all that matters is that we try our best to overcome it.
How to teach respect to our children. 1. Introduce the topic of teaching respect to children and explain why it is important. 3. Discuss the role of parents and caregivers in modeling respect for children. Explain that children learn by observing and imitating the behavior of those around them, so it is important for adults to consistently show respect in their own actions and interactions. 4. Offer suggestions for how to teach respect to children in everyday life. This could include setting clear rules and expectations, praising and reinforcing respectful behavior, and correcting disrespectful behavior in a calm and respectful manner. 5. Share some activities or exercises that can help children practice showing respect, such as role-playing scenarios or creating a list of respectful actions to follow. 6. Conclude by emphasizing the importance of teaching respect to children and the positive impact it can have on their relationships with others and their overall well-being. Here is a sample script for the video. It can be shown in many ways, such as using kind words, listening to others, and showing appreciation for their feelings and opinions. As parents and caregivers, it's important to model respect for our children. They are always watching and learning from us, so it's crucial that we consistently show respect in our own actions and interactions. This includes using respectful language, being considerate of others' feelings and boundaries, and showing appreciation for the things and people in our lives. So, how do we teach respect to our children in everyday life? Here are a few tips. Set clear rules and expectations for respectful behavior. This could include using kind words, taking turns, and being considerate of others' feelings. Praise and reinforce respectful behavior. When you see your child showing respect, make sure to let them know how proud you are of them and how much you appreciate their kind and considerate behavior. Correct disrespectful behavior in a calm and respectful manner. If your child is not showing respect, it's important to address the behavior in a way that models respect. This might include using calm, assertive language and setting clear consequences for disrespectful behavior. There are also many activities and exercises that can help children practice showing respect. For example, you could role-play different scenarios with your child and ask them to show respect in their words and actions. Or, you could create a list of respectful actions to follow and discuss them with your child. In conclusion, teaching respect to children is an important part of helping them grow into confident, compassionate, and successful individuals. By modeling and reinforcing respectful behavior, we can help our kids develop strong relationships and navigate the world around them with kindness and consideration.
I can be a hero without a cape. What comes to your mind when you hear the word hero? Superman with his flowing red cape? Perhaps Spider-Man swinging from building to building? Or a firefighter saving people from a house on fire? The truth is, There are all kinds of heroes in the world. A hero can be anyone, young or old, man or woman, rich or poor. And as many examples reveal, kids can be just as great at being heroes as anyone else. You must have heard the name Malala Yousafzai. She was only 14 years old when she risked her life to promote peace in her hometown. She also worked to ensure a safe place for children to get their education. And she is only one example out of thousands and thousands. It proves that being a hero is not something that is reserved only for selective people. In fact, you can do heroic acts every day, and it will make you a hero in the truest sense of the word. Heroism consists of little things. All these little things come together and turn you into a hero. Here are the things you can do to become one. Take notes and venture on your heroic journey right away. Be kind and compassionate. Open your heart to others. Help those in trouble. Sometimes people try not to show that they need help, so you have to look closely. If they are in pain and want to share their problems with someone, you should always lend a listening ear. If someone is in trouble, try to be kind to them instead of criticizing their mistakes. Remember that kindness is the most essential characteristic of heroes. Share smiles, joy, and love. Being a hero can be something as little as bringing a smile to someone's face. When you make someone happy, you are lighting up their world. It means that they are having a good time because of you, and that is an admirable thing. Love your friends, family, and neighbors. You can bring gifts and snacks for them from time to time. Share your optimism and celebrate good things in life. Because having fun and being happy automatically makes you a better person. Say yes to teamwork and cooperation. A hero is not a lone wolf, so take part in teamwork readily and cooperate with others without making a fuss about little problems. Moreover, respect your teammates as your equals. Don't try to order them around while you sit and just complain. Try to contribute as much as you can in every group setting with a good attitude. Believe in yourself. Self-belief leads you to great things in life. So, believe that you are good and competent. Whenever you begin a task or follow a dream, believe that you can do it. Trust your abilities and instincts, and believe that you are talented enough to achieve your goals. When you are motivated and inspired like this, you become a heroic person who accomplishes many things in life. I can be brave. What is bravery? Bravery means to have the courage within yourself for everything you face in life. These challenges can be emotional, mental, physical, social, and environmental. If you are brave, you try as hard as you can to overcome these challenges. Hence, bravery means having a strong character, good morals, and a courageous heart. Oftentimes, people mistake bravery for having no fear. In fact, one is only brave when he is afraid. He overcomes his fear and stands up to do the right thing. And esteemed author George R.R. Martin wrote in one of his books, "Can a man still be brave if he's afraid? That is the only time a man can be brave." How to be brave? Anyone can be brave. Courage resides within a person, and it shines through everything they do, whether it is a big action or a small one. When you learn to be brave, it will begin to come naturally to you, because one brave action leads to another. Here is how you can become a brave person. I can be brave by trying new things. Yes, bravery can be as simple as having the courage to make a new change. Try out a new meal, play a different sport, learn something new. The possibilities are endless. You know, only those who are brave have the ability to get involved in new activities. They don't fear change. Instead, they embrace it because it helps them experience the spark of life. So, find new things you like and give them a shot. For example, you can learn to dance, try to play chess, or try swimming. I can be brave by telling the truth. Bravery involves having the integrity to always speak the truth, no matter how inconvenient. Even if you are afraid that you will get punished or that others will be angry with you, you should be brave enough to tell the truth. It may seem like lying is better at the moment, but lies only create more problems later on. I can be brave by standing up to a bully. If someone is being mean to you or someone else, you should find the courage to stop them. You should know that they are being unfair and foul. Bullying is unacceptable, and you should be strong enough to stand up to them. It is all about having good morals and acting on them. You can do this by making justice and fairness a part of your character. You should also spread awareness and tell your friends to do the right thing. If you want to look for models of bravery around you, you can look up to firefighters, doctors, nurses, teachers, and so many more. Moreover, you will find examples of bravery in little actions if you pay close attention. When a student walks up to the front of the class and speaks, it is an act of bravery. When a person makes an effort to follow his dreams against all obstacles, he is also tremendously brave. Therefore, with all these things, you can be brave too. Integrity. Teach your child about integrity. Integrity. You must have heard that word around. You must also have noticed then that this word comes flowing in conversations coupled with words like honor and honesty. So you will surely have guessed that it is something similar. But do you know what having integrity really means? Integrity is a hugely admirable quality. Actually, it includes a great many things, many splendid qualities. So, let us dissect it first and see what it means. Integrity means to be honest and courageous, to have consistency in your beliefs, values, and actions, to uphold your morals and principles, even in difficult situations, to be truthful in all matters of life, to do the right thing, even when no one is around to witness it, to do things with respect, honor, and dignity. Sounds like an adult thing? Truth is, all these character-related things have to become a part of you in childhood. That is how these qualities become firm as you grow. Teaching children about things like integrity right from the start is exactly what turns them into great human beings. Kids are extremely observant, and they are smarter than you think. They can sense a difference between good and bad, right and wrong. All you have to do is educate them further. One important thing is that children need good role models in their parents and teachers. When they see you doing all the things you are teaching them to do, they are much more likely to act upon them. Take a look. These are the things you need to focus on to build integrity and a good character. Always be honest about your feelings, about your actions, about everything. Sure, it is sometimes easier to put a lid on your real feelings, but when you are honest and upfront, your heart remains free of guilt and stress, and so does your mind and soul. So, make it your rule to say things that you really mean. For example, if you're feeling conflicted about something, share it with your parents instead of overthinking it. Stay true to your morals. You should never give in to wrong things, even when you are alone. Instead, you should always make sure that nothing bad happens in your presence. For example, let's say you and your friends are playing in the neighborhood park, and one of your friends gets hold of a puppy and he's treating it very badly. Now, you know that hurting animals is evil and wrong, so it is your duty to stop your friend and tell him that what he is doing is bad. Instead of saying nothing, it is your duty to save the little puppy. This will also set a good example for the rest of your friends, and they will learn from you. Help other people when they are in need. Always reach out a hand to pick others up. If someone is having a bad day, go and try to make them feel better. Any little thing will cheer them up. For example, if your friend failed the math test, you can help him study, so next time he will get good grades. Never take advantage of others. For example, if there is a boy in your class who is rich, if you befriend him only to get good gifts, it will mean that you're not a good person, because good people befriend people for who they are, not for what benefits they can get from them. Be responsible. Do your own work, clean your room, and carry out your chores. As a young person, you have an equal duty in making society better, so fulfill that duty. Help out your parents with things around the house, like you can wash the car, rake leaves from the driveway, and more. Do your academic work with honesty and passion. Take interest in what you are studying. Most of all, remember one thing. It is not the duty of your parents or your teachers to make you study. It is your own. You are responsible for your grades, so do your homework and don't cheat on tests. If you do something wrong, don't make lies for it. Instead, you should come clean, admit your mistake, and learn to do better next time. It is 1,000,000 times better than lying and screaming your innocence. For example, if you accidentally break a glass in the kitchen while drinking water, tell your parents about it and say that it was an accident. If you become scared that your parents will be angry with you, you will lie about it, and that will not be good for anyone. Be patient and always wait your turn instead of screaming and shouting. Suppose you are waiting at the bus stop with your parents, and you're tired of waiting and waiting. Here, you have to know that it is not your parents' fault that the bus is taking so much time. So, if you start to annoy them, it will make you a really unfair and sullen person. Be respectful to others. No matter who it is or where you are, always deal with respect. This very thing shows others your good and polite manners, and in turn, they will also treat you with respect. Hold the door when someone is entering behind you. Smile to people and greet them nicely. Don't make a fuss in their presence, and stay true to your good manners. Motivation. Teach your child how to be motivated. Motivation is a fairly common word. You hear it when you have some work to do. It can be schoolwork, personal hobbies, or even house chores. But no matter what kind of work you're meant to do, all that matters is that you get it done with motivation and determination. It is obvious that without taking action, nothing can be accomplished. In truth, we would be wasting our life if we remain unmotivated to do anything at all. An American author, John C. Maxwell, says, "Dreams don't work unless you do." So, if we look closely, what is the key to achieving your goals? It's motivation. And what exactly is motivation? Motivation is that force inside you that guides you towards your goal. It lets you know why you want to do something. All of this leads you to get up and do your work. Now the question is, how to be motivated? Here are 5 things you can hold on to that will help you become motivated. Set a goal and organize. If you think about everything that is included in your work, you are going to get overwhelmed all at once. Then you'll flop down on your bed and get stressed about it. What you should do is organize your work to do. For example, suppose you have homework of 3 subjects, football practice, and chores, all in one day. Try to think clearly. Think about what your goals are and create a schedule. Then, follow the schedule and do the things one by one. This way, you will have a clear path in front of you, and there will be no whining about how much work there is. No procrastination. Procrastination is one true enemy of your dreams. Stop putting today's work on tomorrow, because this way, you will be stacking up a giant pile of work that will become impossible to finish. So don't wait until the last moment to do something. Instead, do your work at the earliest. Then you will have plenty of time to enjoy other things in peace. Reward yourself. There's no point in working if you don't validate yourself. When you put all your effort into something, you should be proud of it. Besides that, you should acknowledge how much progress you have made. For example, suppose you have studied day and night for your final exams. Then you get really good grades. Now it is time to treat yourself. It is a part of self-love and self-motivation. Knowing that you have good things to look forward to will encourage you a lot. Stay positive. You should allow not a single thread of negativity around you. Don't listen to people who tell you that you can't do it. In fact, don't listen to your own thoughts either if they're telling you to doubt yourself. Instead, focus on your dreams, work with honesty and passion, and stay positive. Your positive thoughts will become your motivation. Accept challenges. It is when you challenge yourself that you find greatness. Don't limit yourself. Push yourself to work harder and achieve bigger. Chances are that you will always prove yourself to be stronger than you think. Here is what Paulo Coelho says about accepting challenges. When we least expect it, life sets up a challenge to test our courage and willingness to change. Now it is up to you to believe in your courage.
Passion. How to teach passion or interest to your child. What is passion? Each of us possesses a certain feeling of excitement and enthusiasm about different things we like. It leads us to develop motivation, ambition, and productivity. In simple terms, it gives us a reason to get up and do the things we like. This feeling is called passion. Picture passion as a kind of energy that resides inside of you. This energy makes you continue your journey and keeps you excited about things. It is like your personal glowing star that lights you up and makes you happy. You must have heard about Oprah Winfrey. Here is what she has to say about passion. Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. So, you see? It is all about investing yourself in different things. These things can be the ones you already like and love, but you can also find a passion for new things along the way. Whatever you do, always remember this. You will find happiness and success by having a deep interest, focus, and passion in everything you do. Now, the question is, how to develop passion and maintain interest? Before I tell you the answer, you have to get rid of 2 things. Let go of the idea that having a passion is hard to achieve. Your passion can be about anything, it does not have to be something grand. Stop thinking that you can only have 1 or 2 passions. Passions do not have a limit and you should not either. Remember these things, and now let's learn how to be passionate and interested in different things. Find new passions. There is no full stop when it comes to being passionate about what you like. You are a human and humans can have many, many interests. So get out there and try to find what excites you. Is it sports? Perhaps book reading clubs? Or is it helping the poor? The point is, try to find what you like, what inspires you, and what interests you. It will help you figure out what your passions are. Build your passion. Finding a passion is only the first step. The real deal is to actually begin doing it. An important thing you have to remember is that your passion will not happen all by itself. You have to put effort into it and show determination. The more you do it, the more passionate you will become. When you invest energy, time, and effort into it, your passion will grow. That is why it is called building a passion. For example, if you are passionate about journaling, you should try to keep a small diary or notebook in your bag all the time. Write anything in it that inspires or interests you. Also, make a habit of writing in it every night before sleep. Aside from that, you can save up to buy a beautiful journal and pens. Be passionate about learning. Learning is a crucial part of your passions. There are so many interesting things to know about in this big world. So open your eyes and be hungry for knowledge. Try to learn anything you can. Read books, it is one of the best ways to get knowledge. Also, try to make new friends and meet new people. This way, you will be able to learn about different cultures. The more you communicate with others on an intellectual level, the more your mind will expand. So say goodbye to your shyness and make an effort to learn. You can also use social media to learn about new things and cultures from around the world. Be innovative. We are often afraid of new things. Because of that fear, we like to stick to things we are already familiar with. But this fear is what you must tackle to grow into a passionate person. So try new things, you might love them. Also, brainstorm and figure out unique and new ways to reach your goals. If one door closes, open another one. Every passionate person has to take brave steps to reach their destination. You should also be brave and passionate enough to do that.
Patience. Teach your child how to be patient. Do you remember the frightening Mother Gothel from the movie Tangled? You must have hated her. But there is one very interesting dialogue of hers that goes like this. Patience, boys, all good things to those who wait. Now, that was a wise remark. It is actually taken from a proverb originated about 150 years ago. An English poet, Lady Mary Curie, wrote, "All things come to those who wait." Looks like Mother Gothel knows her poetry. As both of these ladies knew, patience is a powerful thing. It is like the calm, sunny day that follows a stormy night, and having a patient personality affects you in exactly the same way. Patience turns one from a bad-tempered, unpleasant person into a good-humored one. But what really is patience? It means the ability to tolerate problems and to endure difficulties without getting angry or annoyed. It also means to be able to wait calmly without getting anxious if there is a delay of any sort. It is the capacity to remain calm, respectful, and understanding in the face of inconveniences and stresses. Now you understand how patience makes you a pleasant and graceful person. Other than that, being patient in everyday life also makes you wise. Because when you rein your emotions in and deal with patience, that is when you see a clear picture of things without acting out irrationally. Let me explain. Have you ever witnessed two adults fighting? Maybe your older siblings are fighting over the TV remote. They start to shout at each other and call names, and it makes them look so uncivilized. If one of them had patience, they would let the other one watch their show first without making such a big issue. It means that problems are better solved with the help of patience. So, here are some things you should do to be more patient. When your parents ask you to wait for something, don't shout or stomp your foot angrily at them. Try to sit back and busy yourself with something else to pass the time. You can focus on your Rubik's Cube, or perhaps read a book. The waiting will be over soon. For example, if you're going for a vacation with your family and you're really excited about it, and when it is time to leave, your mom receives an important call. Now you must feel like it is impossible for you to wait any longer, and it makes you angry. This is where you should practice patience and prove that you are a good kid. For parents, you can enforce this behavior by rewarding patience. Maybe some words of encouragement or a little treat after your children have waited patiently. Always wait for your turn instead of demanding special treatment. For example, if you are at a park and a kid is already on the swing, you should patiently wait for him to get off, and then you can take the swing. If you start making a fuss, or if you shout at the kid to get off, everyone will think you are a bad person. Then no one will want to play with you. Parents should try to make their children understand the concept of taking turns by creating similar situations at home. It all comes with practice, and children learn fast. Wait for your turn to speak. Because cutting off others while they are speaking is rude. If you are in class, you should raise your hand to let your teacher know that you want to say something. And then your teacher will let you speak while other children wait for their turn. If you want to practice being patient, you can grow a plant and take care of it. It is a time-taking process. During it, you can learn how to be calm, patient, and caring, even if the results are not coming as quickly as you want, because good things take time. Resilience. Teach your child about resilience. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. Do you know which famous personality spoke these inspiring words? I will tell you. It was Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady. Now, let's try to understand these words. It means that success does not come the first time around. But even in the face of complete failures, you should be able to get up and try again. And eventually, you will win. You will succeed. This attitude has a name. It is called resilience. Let us define resilience first. It means having the ability to recover from difficult situations. It also means being able to brace yourself against bad or unwanted factors and continuing to move forward in life. So, in short, being resilient makes you strong. It makes you a tough person who works hard and does not cower in front of his or her problems. Do you want to be that person? Then let's learn 5 things that will make you resilient. Number 1. Set a goal for yourself. Having an aim in your mind makes you more likely to face any problems you have to face. This is about having a purpose. As long as you are sure of why you are doing something, you will be more determined to fulfill it. For example, if you're learning to skate, make sure that you are determined to be a great skater. Keep this goal in your mind. As a result, you will always get back up every time you fall. Number 2. Trust your abilities. You have to be perfectly confident about yourself. Instead of thinking, I can't, tell yourself that you can. With this mindset, you will be resilient against any errors or problems in your way. As they say, believe you can and you will. Number 3. Try to solve your problems instead of hating them for ruining your plans. Problems are a part of life, so it does not matter what was the reason behind them, and you should not be wasting your time crying about them. Instead, do this. Understand what the problem is, figure out the best way to solve that problem, and then continue your journey as if nothing happened. Number 4. Be flexible. If your problems are beyond your control, then you should not give up. And you should never think like it doesn't matter anyway. Being able to cope with certain changes in life makes you wiser and stronger. Take this for example. Your parents have told you that you and your family are moving to another city because of your dad's job. Possibly, you might be fearful or angry about this big change. But you have to be supportive and optimistic about it. After all, life cannot go on without change. Number 5. Take good care of yourself, especially when you are faced with problems. It is natural that when someone is stressed, they will stop caring about themselves. For example, they might not eat properly, or they might not shower or clean their room. All of this affects badly on you, and it makes you sad and depressed. And when you are sad, you will not have the strength inside you to be resilient. So, caring for your physical and mental needs is very important to be a strong and resilient person. Dedicated to Miss Hidalgo. Teach your child about races and diversity. Teaching your child about diversity is very important. It helps them to be more accepting. In our world, there are people with different personality traits and physical features, and your children observe it all. Now, as parents, it is up to you to help your children accept and embrace diversity. You can teach them to be inclusive and open. First, you can start by explaining to them what diversity means. Diversity simply means differences. People can be different in many ways. Some of the most obvious differences we may notice are age, language, culture, appearance, disabilities, race or ethnicity, and religion. Wouldn't it be boring if everyone was the same? If we all looked the same, spoke the same way, we would look like robots. So, diversity actually makes this world more fun and an interesting place. This is how you can teach your kids to embrace all these differences. Number 1. Teach them about different cultures. Learning about new things is something children always take with eagerness, so help them explore different cultures through movies, YouTube videos, books, and more. You can also take them to cultural events. Another fun option is to take your kids on a virtual field trip on Google Maps to countries like Japan, India, South America, and others, because actual traveling is not always convenient or affordable. Number 2. Encourage artwork and food from other cultures. Children love both art and food, and introducing them to these things in different cultures at a young age is important. That is the age where they are most unbiased. Introduce them to origami, dream catchers, and others, and explain their cultural significance to them. The second thing is food, which is a vital element of every culture. You can cook culturally rich dishes with your kids. It will be a fun activity for them, and they will learn a lot too. Number 3. Set a good example. Children follow you in whatever you do. They notice everything. So be careful about the biases you unconsciously express. For example, hesitating while walking next to an African American will lead to a bias in your kid's mind. Number 4. Redirect intolerant behavior. If your kid says something negative about someone from a different race or culture, don't snap at them. Sit them and kindly explain to them why that is not a good thing, and it is not fair to that person. Teach them to treat everyone with kindness and equality. Number 5. Answer curious questions with patience. If your kid comes and asks about stereotypes and why certain people are different, take out time to explain it to them. Tell them about history as well. Educate them all you can within your power.